All right, welcome everybody back to another episode of the Big Douglas Show. It's a Wednesday, so we're going to lean into the opposition. We got 2/3 of the New York Revival here, Eli and Spiro. I can't think of two more New York names in my life than a guy named Eli Rax and Spiro. Love it.
Appreciate you, man.
We'll take it. What's going on, brother Doug? Thanks for having
Oh
us.
man, glad to have you guys on. It's been a while since we had your brethren on before the season, so I'm glad we had got a chance to get you two fellas on. Tell me a little bit about how the podcast got started. How'd you guys get meet up?
Spee, you wanna?
Yeah. Well, we met through another website. We started writing articles and we started podcasting for this other website. We had ideas of going beyond football, talking more about just Giants and doing more sports and entertainment. So me, Eli, and Jeff, we aligned on a lot of thoughts, and we clicked right away on this old website of ours, and so we decided that hey, we want to do our own thing. We want to be able to create our own content and do our own thing. So we took it to the next level, and we broke away and started about a year and a half ago. This is our second football season. And we've been, having an awesome time ever since, man. We go out for drinks, we're brothers, and we talk like we're at a bar, and we also do go to a bar and talk sports. So it works pretty good. So I don't know, E, if you have a different part of the story I'm missing out, I think that's pretty much it, right?
No, man, you kind of hit the nail on the head, right? We pretty much a band of brothers got together, wanted to do something our own creatively, and here came the baby that we birthed called New York Revival. And when you start doing these podcasts, right, like you don't really know what the future holds. We was just really excited to launch this thing to the people, to give them something that we love to talk about, and then that's New York sports in general. And next minute, long behold, we had like guests like Tiki Barber, Lawrence Tynes, LPG, Joy Taylor to date, Kay Adams. God, man, the list just keeps going and going. We have Ransom, the rapper. So
who's in charge of procuring the guests?
That would be your boy Eli right here. That he is an ace. I don't know how he does it. He's got this some kind of like I don't know, man. He's got the gaze over these people or something. He gets it and snatches them in. But he's awesome, man. Eli's that guy. He's our talent acquisition guy.
Eli, you're tracking down emails. You're hustling on Twitter to find folk. How's is the best way to get guests on? Have you found?
You wanna know something crazy, man? It's just divine intervention. I believe in a higher power. I think this thing's lined up for us perfectly, thank God. And usually it just starts with a hello. And next minute people kind of champion that on Twitter. And next minute, I'm talking to some of these guys that we never thought we dreamed to talk to. And so far, so good, man. You know how people have like terrible celebrity stories where they're like, man, I met one of the people that, it was one of my idols and they were terrible. No, every person that I've spoken to that's in the celebrity realm that either made it to the show or did not even make it on the show just yet. Great, awesome people, man. And they see the vision, they see what we're trying to do, and they just want nothing more to support, man. And that's how I'm able to kind of do it. It's just the man upstairs is the only thing I can give glory to at this point.
You guys were live from the bar the other day. That's the next evolution of this podcast.
Yes.
I hope. I loved it. It looked great. I gotta get back up into the DMV more often next year so we can do some things like that.
Yeah,
that to me is the love right there.
We love doing it. We consider ourselves like men of the people. Like we're literally at a bar talking our stuff amongst each other. And like we're not big stat guys. We just go off of vibes, like how we're feeling, and we just say the truth. And sometimes it might rub some people the wrong way, but it's like your friends. Like you just say what's on your mind, and you don't honestly. Then you argue with your friends, and then you move on to the next topic. Like and that's what we do. We just say what's on our mind. We have fun. We literally drink on the show, and like in a perfect world, we do these shows live from an actual bar every once in a while. That's our dream, but it's just fun, man. We just have we have a good time.
I'll tell you this though, the plans of, and I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler here, Speed, just a little bit, but because everybody comes on New York Revival, they always drop of an exclusive. So why not give Doug a little bit here?
Hey, why not?
Why not, right? So the dreams of a bar segment or a bar scene. It'll be coming sooner than you guys think. Let's say that. So, it's something that we have a vision for, something that we are going to probably do a little pilot for and see what it comes out to be. But very, very soon, I think you guys will see a different form of New York Revival coming to you very shortly. So
I
we're
love that.
working
I
on
love
it. We're working on it.
spoilers here on the Big Douglas Show. Absolutely. Yeah.
We're working on something
Right.
pretty cool, man. So we'll announce it
Okay.
soon.
You both are in New York.
Yo,
Yeah.
so he's Jersey.
well-
I'm a New York guy. You know what I mean? I'm a New York guy.
He's the true New Yorker. Me and Jeff are from New Jersey. Yeah, exactly. But we're just all meshed. Actually, we just met up in New York, so we're so close to each other.
Yeah.
It's a stone's throw. So we all kind of just vibe with the New York, logo.
At this point, when we come to meet up in my town, in my neck of the woods, I think the place that we go to, they kind of know us very well. They treat us very well over there. Shout out to Tommy's Tavern. If anybody's watching this in the New York, Staten Island area, man, go over there. Tell them Revival sent you, man. They'll take good care of you. So we kind of meet up there in this talk shop, man. And what other place than Tommy's Tavern? The place is electric, man. Especially if you watch like any type of game, Giants game, Washington game, whatever game that you want to watch. It's on the TV, but every different fan is there, not just New York.
Yeah.
And they're screaming, shouting, throwing beer in the air. I'm telling you, I've been to a lot of bars growing up, man. I'm an old man now. I'm a dinosaur. But I've been to a lot of bars, and this one is like, yo, it's the roots. It's a sports bar where everybody's just there with their jerseys, having a good time, hugging each other, high-fiving. So Tommy's Tavern, that is electric. Place to go, man. If you're ever on the island, man, definitely go check it out, y'all.
So many times with this Washington team, I say, well, it's not the results we wanted, it's the results we got. So that's what we're talking about. It feels like one of those years for New York, right? Like it felt like things were headed in the right direction. I remember last year, it was one of those deals where look at coaching. Coaching matters.
Yeah.
What is it? Spiro, let's start with you. What is it that happened this year? I mean, it's easy to point to the injury of Daniel Jones. I get that. But it felt like things weren't quite right before he got hurt. What was the disconnect between last year and this year that they weren't able to just kind of keep that momentum going?
Yeah. It's one of those things where whenever you play in so many, close games, the bounces are not always going to go your way, and when the Giants are busy not getting blown out, they're in close games, but like everything that Dable touches this year seems to just be not the right decision. Something goes wrong. It's one thing after another, and it's been honestly like a snowball effect. Like one thing is affecting the other, and it really all starts with the offensive line, which we all had hoped had been finally fixed for the first time in over a decade. And it turns out, we lose our star All-Pro left tackle right off the bat in Andrew Thomas. He was honestly the one guy you couldn't lose on that offensive line. There's so many question marks elsewhere. Daniel Jones is now affected by that. His internal clock is totally messed up. Then he gets injured, and then Thomas gets injured. It was just one thing after another, hit after hit. The defense can't get on track. When they get on track, they've been on the field for too long. Every button that Dable and Shane have pushed this year has been the exact opposite of last year. It just seems like they can't get it right this year. And the hope is that all this is going to happen for a reason, and that the light at the end of the tunnel is we do have a top 2 pick and get a chance at maybe resetting a lot of things here. But I don't know. We'll talk about it maybe later. But it's a discussion amongst Giants fans every day. But I still have faith in Dable. I still have faith in Shane. It's just one of those years where whatever could go wrong has gone wrong, in my opinion. And that's it, man. It's mostly injuries, of course.
Thomas is done for the year.
No, he's not done for the year yet. We haven't heard that yet, but a lot of Giants fans just want to say like, hey, take your time. There's no rush to get him back.
Rush.
If he doesn't get on the field, nobody's gonna lose any sleep at this point. Yeah. We're kind of little, take it easy. Take it easy.
What is the problem with Neal? Can you, if Thomas is healthy and you get Schmitz back next year at center healthy? I mean, I've seen a whole lot of people in the Giants discussion saying, you can't get a quarterback if you don't have an offensive line. It felt like in my mind, the offensive line was headed in the right direction before the season. Is this just something that is an injury problem, Eli, or are there bigger problems on the offensive line?
I think it's a bigger problem, right? You got two things that can go hand in hand, right? You have the quarterback and you have your offensive line. Yes, we do understand that the quarterback does need protection and etc., right? But when you look at the quarterback situation that we have as far as Daniel Jones has regressed from the year prior. Daniel Jones was making quicker decisions. They gave him a little bit more of a one read options there. And then after a while, you're starting to see him scan that field. But when you look at Daniel Jones this year, he was holding the ball too long. He didn't know the internal clock. He didn't scramble as what he used to. So I think with the quarterback play, it kind of regressed a little bit as far as the offensive line. He couldn't make them look good. But when you had, Tyrod Taylor come into the game with Tyrod, he had a makeshift offensive line. He had Justin Pugh that just had to move over to left tackle because Izudu got hurt, I believe, out for the season, right? So that was a whole makeshift line, but he was able, being that veteran, to get rid of the ball quicker, to scramble a whole lot better, and move a little bit within that pocket to extend the plays. And it showed in the results. One, he lost the game, and the other game he won when it came to Washington. So I think it was just a combination of the quarterback play. And yes, the offensive line is terrible. Don't get me wrong. But I think that's more towards quarterback play and that poor coaching is what really hurt that offensive line in this season. Because Bobby Johnson, unfortunately, just isn't the answer, because Evan Neal was the top prospect coming out that draft, as far as a couple years ago. The most complete tackle coming out of that draft. So for him to regress so much to where you're like, man, he's Eric Flowers, you got to question that has to be coaching, because you can't coach Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas is a vet now at this point. He just got extended, right? So you can't tell him to do the wrong things, but that rookie that has to listen to you coming into the NFL, he's got to listen to you a lot, and he just doesn't have it. And I think it's a fault to Bobby Johnson as well.
Did the contract for Daniel Jones make him feel like he had to go out there and be Aaron Rodgers instead of just playing within the confines that got him paid last year?
It's funny you say that, because I think I go back and forth with Spee and Hef on us, because I go, man, sometimes when you get that money, that target is on and you feel that pressure, right? Especially being in the New York media. So I think you can say that. I think you can argue with, say, hey, Daniel Jones got paid. He felt like he had to do a little bit more instead of for just being him. But right now, I think it's just so broken that the fact that we're getting such a high draft pick, you got to start thinking, okay, what's the next step after Daniel Jones? What's life going to look like without Daniel Jones? But I think he had that pressure on him for sure, because he was doing things that was definitely, I won't say unheard of. He just regressed. He went back to the old Daniel Jones, and I just, for the life of me, don't understand why. But Speed, you have anything?
Yeah, we were. I mean, listen, we made the shirts. We had the No DJ Slander shirts. We were all aboard. He looked like confident, ready to go. Second year in the system. We were all very hyped about Daniel Jones at Revival, and it just like, maybe it's the hype. Maybe it was the first game being so shell shocked, and then it just then the San Francisco game happened, and he just couldn't get through mentally. He was just so worried about the offensive line. You could see him just thinking nonstop, not processing, and his internal clock going off right away. That I think it all combined. It was the pressure of the contract. You have people in his own locker room kind of like snickering about it, the media saying something, and you could say what you want, that you don't hear it. Somebody around you has said something, or you've seen something somewhere where everybody's talking crap about you. You have to, you can't be that, in a silo. So I think it was a combination of the pressure of the contract, his bad start, and a bad offensive line, and it just all crumbled on his head. And I don't know if you can get out of that. Like, he's seeing ghosts now. Like, I don't know if you could undo that this far into the guy's career now. So
that contract was a marathon.
It seems like, I don't want to say it was a marathon, but there's a heavy influence from up top. And I go back and forth on this. I'm like, if you're the owner of this massive company, you have to be part of one of the most important decisions and faces of your franchise. So I don't mind that he had a little bit of say in this. How much say, I don't know. If he had the final say and forced it on our GM and head coach, that is what us Giant fans can't get around to. We can't agree with that. But if I don't blame him saying, hey, I'd like for him to come back. You guys decide what you want to do. And maybe that is the thing. Maybe there was a handshake agreement that says, hey, we'll give you one more shot, Mr. Mara, with your boy, Daniel Jones. And if he fails, we get to get our guy. Like in my mind, I think that's how it went down behind the scenes between Shane, Dable, and Mara. But he had the final say. He had to say. We all kind of know it, right?
And again, this is all speculation. We don't know. We don't have the inside information here, people. But let's say that we could go down that road, right? But think about it. Unfortunately, we won't know the answer to the end of the ending of the year. But I'll tell you this: if they go with Daniel Jones one more time for another year and it stinks up the joints, Brian Daboll and Joe Shane's out of here. So I think they understand, like, if we draft another quarterback, especially at the position that we're in, it's going to buy us a little bit more time being in this organization. It's going to probably minimum give them another 2 years. You know what I mean? With that. So I think they understand the position that they're in. Even if they were to go with Daniel Jones and he starts completely next season, you have to draft his predecessor at this point because Daniel Jones, unfortunately, the experiment, the project, even you got to look at Mara too, the project and experience. Unfortunately, it's ran its course. It's ran its course at this particular point. So whether it was a Mara decision to keep him, you can conspiracy theory Eli will show a little bit here as I do on the show. I think, hey, we messed this kid up so much. Let's give him something. Let's give him a shot and a fair shot. And they did. It's just right now it's ran its course. At least Daniel Jones have some sort of money that's owed to him. I think it was about $40 million coming next year. And he can go straight to the bank and sit on the bench or whatever the Giants have planned for him. But it's done for. If Mara has to understand, like, all right, even though we screwed this kid up, it's time. We can't continue to lose. The fans won't champion behind this at all. So it's just time. It's just time.
Eli, I know you got a scoop, but I'm curious, like in Washington, at least, if this season continues going south, we have Sam Howell, so we're watching for that kind of progression. We're excited for the rest of the season just to watch the kid and what he's got going. If the Giants season continues as it feels like it's headed, what are you guys looking for the rest of the season?
Oh, that's easy for me. And this is probably going to be nuts, but I just want to see the growth as far as the defense is concerned, right? I want to see Kayvon Thibodeau try to get that double-digit sacks this season. I want to see Kayvon be that guy that everyone thought he was a bust on in earlier this season. I want to see him continuing to progress there. I also want to see Deonte Banks be that CB1. I want him to grow into it. The first half of the season, this guy's playing lights out. Now you're looking at the second half, and I think some teams are probably game planning for him now. So you see him starting to give up certain plays, starting to see him make some sort of boneheaded decisions there. But I want to see how he kind of performs to adversity a little bit. So I'm looking at that young core, and I want to see these guys kind of flourish there a little bit. And also want to see, man, the offensive line. Like, what? Like, let's talk about the elephant in the room,
Neal.
right? Like, I want to see how Evan Neal's finished this year strong. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing I'll be kind of looking for. I unfortunately, I don't. Like, I'm not looking at Tommy DeVito and be like, oh, it doesn't get me excited at all.
You bite your tongue.
I think, right? But I would tell you, just the line, Kayvon and Deonte Banks to see how to end Cordell Flott, man. I mean, I could keep going, but those would be the ones I'm looking at the most. But what you got, Speed?
The young players, 100%. Like, and you went through the list of them. There's a lot of them out there. You want to see Wan'Dale Robinson, see what if he could be. You want to see if we could find some answers going forward. Maybe Jalen Hyatt comes back from his injury. Could he be those two? Could they be part of the answer going forward at wide receiver? But for me, mainly looking forward for the next 7 games, I'm looking at the coaching staff. I'm looking at Dable. Can you keep this team together? They have to be competitive games. Like, you can't be getting blown out every single game. Your vets are going to start pulling away, and it's going to be chaos in the locker room. Can you keep this locker room together? Can you keep this team together? Can Wink stay and keep this defense invested for the next 7 games to where – because you've seen endings just totally fall out, and it gets so bad where it gets coaches fired. I don't want that to be the case here. I want show me a couple things. Close losses are the best thing kind of for us, but like just competitive. Maybe a win or 2 here and there. And for me, that's what it is. Coaching staff, keep it together and knowing that we have the right guys moving forward in that sense with those coaches.
I agree. And and just to add a little bit to that too, because a lot of people will be like, man, everyone's injured. Everyone's injured. Yes, we get that. But Speed, you're absolutely right. Make it competitive. Make it like you just can't be sitting here getting steamrolled, because then it's like, man, what are you doing? What are you coaching these guys on?
Yeah.
And that's something the fans question throughout the entire year. It's like, all right, man, what's up with the coaching? This isn't day ball. This is uncharacteristic of the coach of the year of last year. So you hit the nail on the head, Speed. I want to see how day ball kind of forms with this adversity. You know what I mean? If this is the sophomore jinx, get it out the way now, and let's see if you were setting from there. Right now you 1-1, man.
It is odd, right, Eli? Because you're right. He's only year 2, but it also feels like when you get that top 5 quarterback, it generally comes with a new GM and a new head coach, which is crazy because you guys just started that process. It just feels like, I mean, we'll kind of do something similar in Washington, right? Like you got to hope a new GM gets the Sam Howell vibe or it start overtime. It's odd in New York that way, right? Usually a new fancy quarterback comes with a whole new setup. Don't think that'll happen in New York, though.
No, I'd be shocked. And we'd all be, there's starting to be rumors, but I think that's all it is. It's people, it's clickbaity, media guys trying to get the stir the pot, so to speak. I'd be shocked. And it's just, if nothing else, because of the predecessors. It's like we fired McAdoo after 2 years. We fired Shermer after 2 years. We fired Joe Judge after 2 years. You can only keep doing that terrible chain of process so long. You got to give somebody a third year. You got to give somebody a chance. And I think Dable winning Coach of the Year in the first year gave him that one little feather in his hat that he's got his third year and he's going to get his quarterback. And if that quarterback shows just an inkling of something year 1, he's already bought himself another year after that. Yep. So that's where I think we're at right now. And I think that I'd be shocked if there's any firings from a GM to head coach level. These guys are in lockstep, for better or worse.
No, I agree, man. It'll definitely be a shocker if they were like, yo, it's time to clean house. But if that was to happen, right, you got to look at John Mara. You got to be, yo, Mara, like at the end of the day, you are becoming the laughing stock of the league. Like the once pristine New York Giant football, organization that people may know is out the window if he fires these guys. You know what I mean? Because what more, and I say this too, and I'm like, all right, we got rid of coaches, we got rid of GMs, right? Maybe right now the plan is to go get your guy at signal caller. Give it a shot. At this point, we tried everything that we could possibly try, and I think Dayball is the guy to turn this ship around. It's just let him get his guys and give him a little bit more time. So yeah, I'll definitely be shocked if they say, hey, it's time to fire everyone. There is rumors, which is Pat Leonard put something out that the locker room and etc. is in shambles and that they're on a hot seat. But I just don't see it. I really don't see that they're on a hot seat. The locker room might be in shambles. Who knows? You know what I mean? But as far as them on a hot seat, I don't see that happening, unfortunately. And they didn't even want to fire Joe Judge. They didn't at that time. You know what I mean?
He talked himself out of town.
He talked himself out, and I think the fans were just loud. Like, listen, if you don't do this again, start everything from scratch. And right now, if he was to do that, I think he'll hear that rally cry of fans like, Mara, what are you doing? You are running it. You are doing this. You are doing that. So, yeah, I'll be shocked, man.
All right, let's get out of here on this. It's crazy. Commanders are 10-point favorites. I don't remember the last time they've been that big a favorite. I don't remember the last time anybody in the division's been that big of favorites over the other team. Tell me quickly what you think the score actually looks like on Sunday.
Shit. 35-7 Washington.
Whoa. You know what? Listen, I will say, if you guys don't get it now, you're never gonna get it. Like I don't see a better situation. You guys need it to stay in the race. We got nobody left. It's gonna happen. I think you guys finally, break that streak and you win. I think it's gonna be a little closer than what Eli has said, because I think the defense is gonna show a little bit of spirit here. Like the Cowboys offense. Let's say the Redskin. Sorry. The Commander's offense is not Dallas offense.
Formerly known as, right? Yeah.
So I'm going to say 24-10. You guys beat us by 2 scores. And hey, I'm interested to watch Sam Howell, man. Like, he's looking pretty damn good the past 3 games. So from an opposition standpoint, I'm looking to see if Sam Howell is the answer for you guys. And as a Tar Heel fan, I like to see him doing pretty well. And I don't have any hate in my heart for Sam Howell or the Commanders for that matter. So I'm interested.
Let me ask you, Doug, before we get out of here, do
Yeah.
you feel like your quarterback is the answer at this point? Just watching him.
Yeah, I mean, if we had to make a decision today, I'd say, yeah, I think so. He has cleaned up the mistakes from early on, and that they promised us that was the thing with him, right? That he's a junkie when it comes to watching the tape, and that he doesn't make a lot of the same mistakes twice. That feels like what's happened when they switched Larson. That was a big deal. I think you're 30 pounds heavier than Gates, and I think he was able to help him make the calls at the line.
Yeah.
Like that last Giants game, they just weren't making the calls at the line properly.
Right.
There were guys free blitzing from all over the place. And I get that's what Wink does, but you got to be able to pick them up sometimes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like where he's headed. Now I want to see it for the rest. If we end up with a top 10 pick and they can get up to get one of these guys, and Sam Howell hasn't been consistent throughout the year, we'll talk about it again when the season's over. But right now, if he continues the way he has been, cutting the numbers down, and give credit to Bieniemy, right? I thought this was a crazy deal, just throwing him in there in the deep end of the pool and saying, good luck, kid, have fun learning how to swim. Yeah. But the kid's swimming. I mean, leads the league in passing. There's something to that. Part of that's the dropbacks, Yasky.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, he's going to lead the league, but I like what I've seen so far.
Good,
hey,
man.
and
I'll take your word. You know more than me.
Yeah.
You know more than
and
me.
we'll find out more. We'll find out more on Sunday, right? Like this is our last look at
gotta keep stacking games. That's the key to the league, right? Is stacking games.
I'm skipping this game, unfortunately. It's for my sanity.
yeah.
It's for my sanity. I gotta watch Washington win. Are you crazy? And we've been killing them all this time, and I gotta watch them win one. Yeah, all right, I'm checking out.
History,
I'm checked out. I don't want to hear Doug in my DMs like, "Hi, we got you." I don't want to hear it.
Well, welcome to my world on that one. All right, fellas, listen, I appreciate it. This was a ton of fun. We'll do it again maybe when the season's over.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Man. Definitely, man. Hit us up. It was a pleasure. It was definitely a pleasure.
All right, thanks, fellas.
Check out New Year Revival, people. Give us a shout. And when you guys are bored with any Commander stuff, coming over, we'll make you laugh. On Tuesday nights, 8:30.
And I've got the link set up to it. So you guys do
awesome,
great.
Man. Appreciate your comments, Doug.
Yep.